everyone. This is Dr. Bhavna Rao with Meridian Springs Primary Care. We are on our 8th week of the 10 big ideas to make 2021 your greatest year. And today we are going to discuss the 8th idea, which is gratitude. So far, just a quick recap. So far, we have done eat, move, sleep, breathe. We did focus. We talked about stress. We talked a little bit about mindfulness last week, but our video is coming out shortly later. But today we are here to discuss gratitude. Now, gratitude is a new thing for me because it's not a medically related topic, or I thought so. So today we have joining us to discuss gratitude and teach us more about gratitude is Stacy Harris. Stacy Harris is a franchise owner of NIA, that is Network in Action, and a public speaker, a dear friend who has taught me many, many things in life. Stacy, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having me. I love you so much. I'm happy to be here with you.
This is so exciting that I get to discuss gratitude with you. And as I researched about gratitude for this discussion, I learned so many new things. Well, yes, we all know that you've got to be grateful, thankful, but these were all very general terms for me, but not very specific. So as I researched more, these are some of the things I learned that gratitude can have an impact on your physical health. It can lower your blood pressure. It can improve your sleep and improve your or increase your activity level in the week.
Yes.
And this is all what we spoke in the other topics we discussed amongst the greatest ideas for 2021. But this is all possible with just a simple gratitude. But our journey today discussion is going to be about to understand it in more depth and to actually take back action items as to what we can do, simple things to do at home to develop this gratitude.
Yes. Yeah.
And this is amazing because I always, as I said, that I have never spoken to my patients about gratitude, but this is something I'm going to start putting into practice because these have great health implications.
They really are.
So Stacy, can you help us define what do we mean by gratitude, or the deeper sense or the deeper meaning of the word?
Yes. I think it's interesting because usually one of the first phrases we learn as babies, we learn please and thank you, right? Yes. And so we always think that gratitude is just simply saying thank you. And I think for a lot of us, we say thank you without even thinking about it now. Somebody holds up in a door or, pick something up off the floor that you dropped or something like that. And you just automatically say thank you and you don't think about it. And that's really more manners than it is gratitude, because gratitude is so much deeper. And to have the effects that you're talking about, the health effects and these positive side effects of gratitude, it's a much deeper emotional thing. And gratitude is giving thanks, but it is being aware of what you are giving thanks for. So again, somebody opens a door, you automatically, if your mother raised you right, you automatically say, thank you, right? Hand me the salt, thank you. That's it. But gratitude is really thinking about what it is for which you are grateful and really meditating on it and giving it some thought, and putting it into practice is a whole nother step of, expressing gratitude. We can think, I'm thankful for my home. I'm thankful for my husband. I'm thankful for my children. But if we don't ever express that and why we are thankful for it, then it doesn't really do any good. You can be thankful for your husband, but he may not realize that you're thankful for him if you don't tell him. If you don't say, I tell my husband all the time, I'm glad you're mine. I'm glad I have you, So it's really being much more aware of the blessings that you have in your life and really stopping and thinking about it and putting that into practice. So I started my gratitude journey about 7 years ago, and I was introduced to a book called The Magic. And I know there was a book that you read also that kind of started you on this. Was it Gratitude Works? Was that the name of it?
Yes. So it was Gratitude Works by Robert Emmons. And this book is what we recommended or put out to read in our Facebook page also from the clinic.
Yeah.
But I know that there are many popular books on gratitude.
Right. There are a lot of books out there. And the one that I read that really was life-changing for me was called The Magic. The author's name is Rhonda Byrne, Byrne. She is also the author of The Secret, which most people have heard of that book. So this was her second book that she put out. And what it was is it was a book of 31 days of gratitude practices. So it was physically doing something to show your gratitude. And so one day it was, go out and find 5 stones that you think are pretty. And for each stone, you're going to assign something that you are grateful for. And then whatever that is, if it's a person, then you're going to reach out and tell that person, whether it was your first grade teacher, your mom, spouse, a child, whatever, you're going to tell them, thank you for what you have done for me. This is how you have made my life happier or easier or better. So every day for 31 days, you did something different that expressed gratitude. And it just made you so aware. It made me so aware of things that I had really taken for granted, like just being able to turn on the water faucet after the snowstorm we've had here in Texas, about a month ago. And none of us had water. All of a sudden, when we got to take that hot shower, we were really grateful for it. Before we turned on the water, we didn't think anything about it.
Yes.
But yeah.
How about a whole day without power?
Exactly. Without electricity, without internet. So, there are all these things that we have in our life that just make it more comfortable and more convenient and easy. And we all have people in our lives who do that for us too. And so this book just made me so aware of the little things. I remember one chapter in particular that said, think about your parents. Think about all the things that your parents have done for you since the day you were born, that you came into the world. Think about all the diapers they changed and all the sacrifices they made, and they took care of you when you were sick, and they made sure that you had clothes and food and shoes and, all of those things. And I had just never, I have wonderful parents, and I have a good relationship with them. And I always felt like I showed them gratitude, but I realized there were so many things that I had never thanked them for, sacrifices that they had made for me. And so it just really made me so much more aware of little things. And so it put into practice for 31 days, different things. And, in that time, after a month, it becomes a habit. And all of a sudden it really changes the way that you think about things. And what I have found over the last 7 years, as I've practiced gratitude, is that when I am in a bad situation, a difficult time, a big challenge, immediately you start to think how bad it is. But I have trained my brain to stop and think about what is right in this situation. What am I grateful for? What are the things that are good? So when we woke up during the snowstorm and our power had gone out at 5 o'clock in the morning, it was 50 degrees in the house. The first thing I said is, it's okay. We have gas appliances. We have a gas fireplace, and we have gas burners on our stove, and we have a gas oven. So we're still gonna be able to cook. And, and so all of a sudden I could turn it around, and I could make it not such a bad thing, and we could laugh about it and just have fun. And, I would have been a terrible pioneer woman. I know that, but, for a day I could handle it. So when you really have this practice of gratitude, it makes your life so much easier. But it is a discipline, like anything else, like eating right, exercising, it has to become a habit.
And that's why it's called a practice.
It is a practice of gratitude.
And you get better at it and learn more the more you start practicing in small.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Sorry, had a little technical difficulty there. Yes. And, so there are a lot of really good books that are out there about gratitude. And, but I think the biggest thing that I really learned was just always to look for I always felt like I was a positive person, but I realized I was very negative in some areas of my life. And so reading that book was just, it was just so impactful for me. And it did make things easier. It changed my relationships with people. It made me just not worry so much, about what might happen. When I would start to go down that path, I would kind of turn myself around and think, okay, what are the things I know I want to get from here to here? And everything isn't quite what I want it to be right now, but what is the way I want it to be right now? And all of those things just really made such a big difference for me. So, but it is a daily thing. It really is. And there are different things that I do, but one thing that I do consistently every day is first thing in the morning, I write down 10 things that I am grateful for. And what that did, so that was part of this practice that I went through in that 31 days time. And what I found is, because the challenge was to have 10 different things every day. So you could never repeat anything. For 31 days, you had to have 10 different things that you were thankful for. So what it did is it made me start every day. I was looking for things that I could be grateful for. I got a great parking spot. I heard from a friend I haven't heard from in a while. I got a new shirt and it was on sale, 50% off, so it really made me look for those things that I was thankful for. And I have continued that practice. I can't say that I do 10 different things every day, but I do start out my morning. After I get up, I roll out of bed, I work out, I sit down to have my cup of tea and eat some breakfast, and I get my gratitude journal out and I write down my 10 things that I'm thankful for. And it's a really good way to start the day, because when you are truly thankful for something and you've taken the time to really think about it, it affects your emotions directly. And it puts you in a whole different mindset and a whole different frame of mind to start out the day. So I'd really encourage everybody, if they're not going to do anything else that we talked about today, that they would just, write down the 10 things that they're thankful for. That's
easy. That's a fantastic tip. And then that can be done anytime. And then again, if you're not getting up early just for this, you can do it at a later time in the day.
You can do it anytime. It's a good way to end the day too, to go to sleep, thinking about what you're thankful for too.
Yeah. So, and also for people who want to start journaling, this would be a great starting point. Start writing down what they're grateful for. 10 points, if not 3 points, if whatever you feel like you have noticed that day.
Yes.
Start writing. Again, folks, it's a practice. So the more you do it, the better you get at it. And develop it into a habit that you start with something, and then you can start researching more about what else can you do regarding the gratitude.
Yeah.
And it's a very positive. So what I read was that the more you practice gratitude journaling, you're healing your past, you're healing your relationships, and then it's supposed to give you more depth and value to the people around you and the relationships you have. Or if you've had traumatic relationships, it helps you get over them.
It does. Yeah, it really does. Last year we went through a very long, about a 10-month process where my father-in-law was dying. And there were days that it was so hard, when you were there, because unfortunately he died by inches, he just wasted away. And it was so hard at first to see what was the good in this, what was the point if he had no quality of life, but it was so drawn out and, things like that. But then when we could kind of turn it around and look at what did go right. Well, the good thing was that we had time, it wasn't great for him, but we had time to prepare ourselves for his passing. And when he had lucid moments, we were able to say the things that we needed to say to him. And my husband, so it was during the COVID shutdown, he had a massive stroke the week of the COVID shutdown. my husband's job all of a sudden went all virtual, and he's an only child. He was able to go and be with his dad and be with his mom until his dad passed away. So, we could have looked at those as these are negatives and this is horrible and he's dying, or we could turn it around and be grateful
that he had the time,
we had the time, and we had, that we had the resources, and that the whole world had shut down. And so we could both go and be there when we needed to both be there, and all of those kinds of things. So I have yet to find, since I have started my gratitude practice, I have had the biggest challenges of my life by far. And I really can't imagine going through those things. I mean, I've had major business crises. I have had people crises. I have had medical events that have happened, and all different kinds of things. And I just cannot imagine if I hadn't have started this practice 7 years ago. I think I would have been a crazy person by now if I hadn't have, had that to fall back on, and to be able to turn that around in my mind of looking at what were the good things, truly. So it makes a big difference.
So, by all this discussion, we want to make sure that the point we are trying to get across is that practicing gratitude is such a positive psychology for anyone, for those who have, lost hope, for those who are in crisis, or for those who are, riding the high of life. Everything's going right. But we want to make sure that you're having the same for the future too. So for any phase of your life, this is going to, enrich your life much more.
Yes. Yeah, it really will. And there are a lot of things you can do. That I think that the journal is so effective because you can go back and you can read it later, and you can see the things that got better, the things that turned around, the things that improved in your life. Basically, I mean, for me, it's my gratitude time is also my prayer time. And so it's prayers that have been answered, that have worked out. And one thing I also learned is, we have to visualize the future the way we want to see it. And it is very effective. And this is something that I've read a lot of books about, as far as, you're thinking, what you're thinking about, but you have to create your future of what you want it to be in your mind. I mean, yes, things are always going to happen that you could never, ever, who expected a global pandemic, right? Yeah. But things are always going to happen that you can't expect. But one thing that I do every day too, is I write down what I'm thankful for, what is going to happen. So, I am thankful for the people that I'm going to meet, the meetings that I'm going to have that day, that they're going to be successful. That I'm thankful for the healing of a friend who's really sick right now. But I give thanks for those things in advance. And that's the way that I want it to be, and it's amazing when you go back. I mean, I have stacks of journals now, and every once in a while I go back and I read through them. And I mean, I would venture to say that 95% of the things that I wrote down that I wanted to happen, that I gave thanks in advance for, that those things have happened. They've come to fruition in some way. And so when we give thanks for things for the way we want them to be, we're releasing it. And saying, I believe that things are all going to work out the way that they're supposed to, and for my highest and best good. And that's when the blood pressure lowers, and that's when you're able to sleep better and just enjoy life more and have those better relationships. When we're stressed out and worried and frustrated and angry and all of those emotions that are the opposite of gratitude, our relationships suffer, our businesses suffer, our health suffers. So that's something that I love to do too in my journal, is just saying thank you in advance, that everything is going to work out the way it's supposed to.
That is so fantastic. And, we mentioned, so just to round it up.
Yeah.
The practice of gratitude, of course, is not just saying thanks superficially. Right. But to understand why you're being thankful for, to think about the events or persons in your life who have come across. Maybe it may not have looked very helpful at that point, but impacted you in a positive way, and to reflect on those thoughts. is what this is about, the
Yes.
gratitude journal. And the journaling is the easiest part, because just when you write it down, it becomes more concrete. It
It does.
helps you. It's not
Mhm.
just a superficial, oh yes, I had a wonderful day, thanks for that.
Yeah.
It's more deeper than that. And then again,
It
as Stacy mentioned, you can go back, you can look at it, you can reflect on those days and what
Mhm.
happened in your life at that point.
Mhm.
Through the highs and lows, as
Yes.
you mentioned.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And if you can tell people why you are thankful for them, thank you for unloading the dishwasher because that saved me so much time this morning. Be very specific, very, very specific. Especially, I think this is super effective with your kids.
Yes.
I mean, everybody likes to be appreciated, but when you can be really specific about what it is that they did for you and why that meant something to you, then that's valuable on both sides, the person who's giving the gratitude and the person who's receiving it.
Right.
So that's something you can do.
So think about your own family members, not only
Yeah,
not only people you do business with or friends,
exactly.
but
Mhm.
your close family members, so they don't feel like they've been taken for granted.
Exactly.
So they know that you're thinking about their actions and what they've done for you.
Yeah,
And I think it can be reciprocated, because once you do it and they feel good about it,
that's right.
you're going to get told the same thing too.
It's contagious. Gratitude is contagious too. Yeah,
That's
it
a good
really is.
contagious.
It is. It is. It's contagious. Yes, in a good way.
In a good way. It's a good contagion.
We don't need a vaccine for gratitude. So it is. So, take a walk. Sometimes I just take a walk and I just make the focus of my walk. I'm just going to look at the beautiful world around me, and I'm just going to be thankful that I'm alive and I can breathe and I can move and I can walk and I can see all these things. And every step I take, I just say, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, over and over and over again in my mind. And I come back and I'm energized and I've gotten good exercise, and it just makes you happier. It just makes you a better person to be around. And, as far as business, customers come back to places that they feel appreciated. They
Yes.
are always, if they feel like they spent their money with you and you appreciate that you did that, they're going to come back because that made them feel good when you expressed your gratitude to them. So it affects every area of your life.
These are so many points to think about. So we'll wrap up here, but I just want to recap on the resources. I know we put a recommendation out for the book Gratitude Works by Robert Emmons. Stacy, can you repeat the book by the book you liked?
Yes, it's called The Magic, and it's Rhonda Byrne. Byrne is her last name.
And I think I have more reading to do and more
You do. I can't wait for you to read that one. You'll love it.
Yes. Because this has, and I feel like as I'm doing the 10 biggest ideas of 2021, it has enriched me as a person, learning
Of course.
so many new things. Yes, we talk about physiology as a doctor, medications and medical conditions, but some of the things we have spoken about mindfulness, about gratitude, is something that we don't talk about on a daily basis. And these are some of the easy aspects that can be incorporated to improve your health.
Yes, they don't cost anything.
And we want healthier and happier people.
Yes. And I want to tell you that you are on my gratitude list every day.
Oh, you are.
No, truly.
Thank you. And
Truly.
I learned so many lessons, and it's been and more to learn. So, we'll end it here. And Stacy, can you give us your contact information? We will also tag her information with the video when you publish it. But if you want to tell how our viewers can reach out to you.
Yes, you can reach me. My email address is Stacy, STACY at networkinaction.com. And then phone number is 832-837-9975. And then you can also reach me through our Facebook page, which is NIA, stands for Network in Action, The Woodlands.
Thank you, Stacy, and thank you for taking the time
Thank you.
and agreeing to join with us at such a short notice.
No, I'm happy to. Thank you for asking.
All right. See you all next week. Bye-bye.
All right. Love you.